There's a young man who is making huge strides. We talked about him a little bit earlier this week on the Bama Standard. If you weren't able to catch that, well, I'll go ahead and fill you in. Daniel Hill, sophomore running back from Meridian, Mississippi, is taking first team reps. His progression has been astounding. Leaps and bounds from year one to now year two. Made folks look silly, had tough, great runs today. This is very exciting. This is arguably one of Alabama's strongest position groups going into 2025. And I would venture to say probably one of the best running back rooms in the country. The question is, how do you dole out touches? Great problem to have. Well, let's hear about Daniel Hill. Steven started out, then we'll give it to Jonathan.
I am incredibly proud of Daniel because you got to understand his story, okay? Coming from high school in Meridian, he was a former Wildcat quarterback, right? Super smart kid, super brilliant kid IQ-wise. But in high school, as always, you're not asked to pass protect. You're not asked to pick up blitzes and do the nuances of that type of thing. Derek Henry will tell you. They just gave me the ball and said, run. Daniel Hill, kind of the same thing. Yeah. He took the ball and he just ran. So, of course, when you come to Alabama and under Robert Gillespie, he's breaking down different concepts to you, of course they're going to seem foreign because you were never required to do that. So it's going to be tough. And then for Daniel, he didn't have the proper nutrition program in Meridian. So he came in with some bad weight last year that he had to get down. Kudos to him. He went to David Ballou, coach, what do I need to do? And he took the coaching. He took the advice of Ballou. Ballou got him in that weight room. They worked on different weight programs. They worked on different body targets, and they got his body fat down, and they got his weight down, and they got him trimmed up, and they cut that body fat number down. He got with our head nutritionist, and she carved out his meal plan. He's eating way healthier. That's why you see him more sculpted now versus a little bit of flubber he had last year. So he cut the bad weight. He got the right muscle mass on. And then having more time in that film room, he's gotten the pass pro. He's gotten the blocking assignments. This kid has transformed this entire game. Why? Because he took the coaching. It reminds me a lot of B-Rob when Brian Robinson first came in 2017 out of Hillcrest. Now, Hillcrest had a bit more to offer than the Meridian High School, but there were still some things B-Rob had to learn. And once he learned it, boy, did he become great at Alabama, especially that final season, 2021, over 100 yards rushing. So this is Daniel Hill taking his B-Rob leap in terms of body in order, growing more in the playbook, growing more in what he's been asked and tagged to do. Proud of that kid.
You're talking about the things he's done in the offseason to warrant this progression. We got film room, check. Weight room, check. Nutrition, check. Coaching, check. But there's not a part that not many people know about. It's mentorship. And I look at who's mentoring him right now, and that's former Alabama running back and part of the Bama Standard family, Bo Scarborough. He has taken him under his wing and spent a lot of time teaching him, whispering into his ear the knowledge that he has. And I feel like that's been a huge factor in Daniel's ascension upward. Jonathan, let's hear from you, man. How do you feel about Daniel Hill, and how are we going to get these running backs touches to keep them happy?
Well, I'll start off with this. The transformation of Daniel Hill is incredible, and it shows you the commitment, right, he has into this program, which is something you want to see from every one of your players. It's just one of those things where it's just visible, right? It's not something that's mental that we don't get to see on a daily basis, whereas now that is the case. I think that he understands the offense that's about to be put in front of him. So from my experience, once again, from watching film, especially on the running game, Ryan Grubbs, he only uses 2 running backs in his system primarily. A third one rarely ever gets on the field. I think when you look at Daniel Hill, when you talk about the pass pro, when you talk about pass protection, that's huge in his system, right? So there's a reason a couple of other running backs didn't see as much playing time last season because of this. And I think it was huge. I think he took it serious. I think Jan Miller did a really good job of pass protection last year for the most part, right? So, and I think Daniel understands that, look, this is a new offensive coordinator. There is going to be no bias. The best players are going to get on the field. And look, there's only so many people that's going to touch this football, right? There's only so many times you can pass the ball, so many times you can hand the ball off to a running back. That means you have to do everything well. And I love that you brought up the podcast earlier, Stephen M., talking about the Crimson Tide Sports Network, right? Where Isaiah Horton was talking like, hey, they asked him, if you need to play tight end and block, is that what you're willing to do? He's like, look, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this team to win. And I think now from last season to this season, it just seems like every player at every position seems to be more bought into the system. I don't know if that has to do with Ryan Grubbs. I don't know what it is. I'm not there. But it seems like there's a slow transformation, and you're starting to see it sprinkled in to every player in every position.
I think, Jonathan, this has all to do with this is Kalen DeBoer's team, and he's now grabbed it by the horns. Kalen DeBoer came in last year, and people need to understand, when you are replacing one of one, there will never be another Nick Saban. I don't care how many people say, well, look at Kirby Smart will never be Nick Saban. Dan Lanning will never be Nick Saban. Steve Sarkisian will never be Nick Saban. Lane Kiffin will never. There will never be another Saban. There's only one Saban. And so when you come to the University of Alabama at a time where Saban retires, people are literally coming to Tuscaloosa in helicopters poaching players. You have to keep everyone, or as much as everyone as you can within your program, together. Kalen DeBoer did one heck of a job for what was tasked and asked of him. I understand the season didn't go the way we wanted it to. A lot of us wanted 10-2 and get in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen. I hate it as much as anybody does. But at the end of the day, DeBoer needed this. He needed to experience grown man football and what it really means to be in the Southeastern Conference where people take football as serious as their own kids. This is grown man stuff. And DeBoer needed to be a part of this. And he needed last year to show him, okay, this is what this is. So now I know how to transition and how to be better. And ever since this offseason has taken place, fellas, he has made every move to be better. And we're seeing it. So DeBoer needed last year to take full ownership of this team. Now this team is his, and you're starting to see it.